This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the UK's #1 coral selling website, prestigereef.co.uk and reefdork.etsy.com for all your 3D printed aquarium accessory needs. What's up, YouTube? Why do I keep looking at the microphone when I look at the camera? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Prestige Reef Talk show. For the uninitiated, the headline topic that you've clicked on that says, the thumbnail that says we're going to be talking about the top 10 most ridiculous names. We will talk about that, but it's not for 2 hours. So there'll be a timestamp at some point in the next 24 hours, probably in the next 12 hours, that will tell you where to click for that. For everybody else, Ryan, what's going on, mate?
Well, you just threw me in straight away.
I know.
Oh, I forgot you because you've changed the intro, haven't you? That's why it feels weird.
I know. That's what I was going to say, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you also in arrears to Pieces of the Ocean and Tidal Gardens, the joint #1 coral sellers in the US, for being cool with me using your photos on the thumbnail. I didn't ask, obviously, so but I noticed them. And if I was in America, I would only buy corals from Pieces of the Ocean and Tidal Gardens.
I haven't heard of Pieces of the Ocean. I know Tidal Gardens, but I didn't.
I can't remember the guy's name, but he's you see him on YouTube from time to time, and he's a bit of a stickhead. Likes his acros.
I was thinking, why wouldn't you buy them from Worldwide Corals? And now I remember why you wouldn't buy them from Worldwide Corals.
Why wouldn't I buy them from Worldwide Corals?
Weren't they the ones that you said there was a something with their subscribers or something?
Oh, they were buying. It looks like they buy subscribers on YouTube.
Oh.
That doesn't, if I was in America, I'd buy corals from everywhere. To be honest, I'm just saying Pieces of the Ocean and Tidal Gardens because of the thumbnail. But no, I'd buy corals from Worldwide Corals quite happily. No problem with that. I don't care what to do with the YouTube channel.
I've seen their corals in person. They're amazing. I've seen them at the shows. They are genuinely amazing. So
almost as good as Pieces of the Ocean and Tidal Gardens.
I was just reading the comments where it says
pigs might fly. Yeah. So go on, Ryan. What you got?
How's my week in reefing been? How am I? Like you're all over the place today.
I'm all right. I'm fine.
I'm good. You know. So how are you? You okay?
Yeah. Well, I was, but you've hurt my feelings now, so I'm upset.
Okay.
Tell us what you're reefing. Let's get some structure back, Ryan.
Structure. My week in reefing. Okay. So, we will start with the water box tank. The water box tank got dinoflagellates again, so I blacked out again. So basically, what happens is you take all the fish out, the algae grows. There's nothing going in it. The nutrients drop, then the dinoflagellates start from low nutrients. So I've sort of just left.
Definitely, Dino's not. You had diatoms last time, right?
These are definitely dinos this time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I'm actually thinking about getting a microscope. There's just find out exactly what ones there are, because there's a page on Facebook which
Max Dinoflagellate Support Group,
something like that. Yeah. And they all recommend this microscope.
Okay.
And then I just see Jay's trying to draw everyone away from the live stream.
No. That's none of that. Microscope.
Yes, microscope. So just to see what ones they are, because people seem to be having great success with regards to what people are suggesting on that Facebook page. Yeah. So I'd be interested to see. And also, that's something that I don't know a huge amount about. And I just think to myself, I wonder if I can learn more about that specific thing, because then I can help other people with it.
Yeah, okay.
Because until you deal with these things, you don't have to learn about them usually.
No, this is the group. It's called Max Reef Dinoflagellate Support Group. 15,000 members, and there are a load of people on there. So you can see any post that you go on there, there's things like this, video clips of little critters swimming around under a microscope. And I haven't had dinos for a long time. But last time I went on there, there's lots of people on there. Well, they'll identify what type. Prorocentrum is one of the common ones that you have. They'll straight away within 2 seconds of like, that's Prorocentrum, mate. They're really, really good. If you got a microscope,
I wonder if from that they can go. Well, in fact, I know from that they can go. Right, this is the thing that you need to do. Like, if you see what I mean, as in to get rid
Yes.
of
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
strain.
Yeah. 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 There are
Yeah,
some that are free swimming, so they'll tell you to use UV. There are others that aren't, and they'll tell you to do whatever else. But he's been on Mac, the guy, I can't remember his name, but Mac, he's been on the Reef Dudes live stream as well,
Oh, okay. I
talking
didn't know
about
that.
dinos. But yeah, and there's bit on. So I've got Euglena, which is like looks like green cyanobacteria, but it's called Euglena. I've got that in my tank, and I've been on the Max group because they talk about it on the Max Dinoflagellate support page.
Yeah,
and they talk about just getting your trace elements back into to shape.
Interesting. Oh, well, for that specific one,
Specifically,
But
yeah.
I said it'd be interesting to see. I don't know. I don't think the microscopes are overly. They're not like what you imagine they would be. I imagine they'll be very like you imagine a microscope would be very expensive, but I think they're not that expensive.
No, they'll be 30 quid from Amazon or something.
Yeah, something like that. So
Chinese.
So that's something I'm probably going to do, which I've told you now on the live stream, which means I have to now do it. So the fish are still fine. Actually, the end of quarantine for those fish come in terms of like the fallow period is the end of June. So we're getting closer, people. I can almost put fish back in it.
Oh, interesting.
I think it's like I wrote it down somewhere. I think it's like the 20th of June or something. So by the time this is blacked out and everything,
it'll roughly coincide.
And like part of me also wondered if I should just drain, 70 or 80% of the water down once it's done this, and fill up with 80 or 80% of the water from the coral farm.
Yeah. Why not?
Because then it's like I know that works.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Anything that I have in the coral farm, like nothing is outrageous, like overrun. If you see what I mean. So anything that went into that tank, I could deal with. So I'm not overly worried. It's the same as you said. Experienced reefers don't really worry about. We do what needs to be done to try to prevent.
You don't want pests in your tank, but you don't. If you get Aptasia, you get Aptasia. If you get bubble algae, you get bubble algae. You deal with it.
And what I'll tell you is every single shop, every single one has Aptasia somewhere if they've been open long enough. It is impossible to keep out. However, I have 7 copper bands to deal with it, which is why you never see it. In my
So every single shop, which shop in particular are you talking about that's got Aptasia, Ryan?
Are you going to add it to the list? Well, I am in control of the list.
Okay,
I'm in control of the list. All of them.
Do you want me to talk about all of them? Bloody hell. So if I start naming some shops.
If a shop has been open long enough and they're regularly importing corals, I can 100% guarantee if they're if they've been like a year long, they will have it, because it's unavoidable.
Outing all the number 1 shops in the UK. Interesting.
Even they would agree.
Yeah, of course I know.
Of course they would.
Yeah.
Anyone that says that they don't agree, I would be skeptical, because quarantining coral, it takes a lot of work. It's not.
Even somewhere like Tidal Gardens, and he is fastidious with all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
He shows Aptasia, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's not like it's the difference is all shops will have it, but a good shop you'll never know they have it. A bad shop, you'll go in and you see it everywhere. Like I went into a shop the other day, and like their tanks with all the fish in, they were just covered in Aptasia, and it was like.
See I had this conversation with someone at the coral farm today, and he literally said, "I can't see anything in your system, like nothing at all. Can I see in your systems?" And I went, "I can assure you, it's in there." And he said, "Yeah, but the difference between your place and a poorly run shop is you can visually see it everywhere."
Completely.
So, because I don't pretend. At first, when I was I remember how naive I was. When I was first creating the videos and building the farm and going and inspecting every coral and everything, it's impossible. It's literally impossible to keep everything out long term. So, and I look back at that now and think how naive I was. But the fish deal with it.
But you still got to. You don't want to get stuff in, and you inspecting corals will help you keep away 90% or whatever. So
of course,
you don't just give up and just go, oh well, whatever.
Oh no,
you do what you can still, but
everything gets dipped. I mean, you see it when I post on Instagram and I get new corals in. Like you'll see them in like being dipped in tubs, because just because I've got like one thing, I don't want anything else that might slip through. If you see what I mean. So yeah, so that's that.
There's a couple of people mentioned Asterinas, my mates, in the
Yes.
chat. I was really pleased the other day. Tidal Gardens did a video talking about Asterinas, and Than was saying, I can't remember if he said they're his favourite cleanup crew, but they're like, he loves them.
No,
and I was like,
awful.
yes.
They're awful. No.
And there are Asterinas in my new tank, in my Red Sea Reef S850. I was going to post a photo of it on Instagram because I know it'll trigger some people.
Yeah. Sorry, I just went. I was messaging Jay to say, "Don't worry, you didn't offend me," because he's put in the comment, and I thought I might just say it. That's why I was. That's why I was doing something. Yeah. So Asteria. So that's they're the one thing which they are in the farm. I do pick them off every car. Occasionally, one will slip through.
You're welcome.
I will get because obviously they came from you. Because Reef Dork gave me a rock with about 1,000 on. Went, go deal with this.
I didn't know. You said, do you have any pests? And I was like, no, not really. Don't think so. And then you got it home and you were like, you said there were no pests. It's Asterinas. I was like, Asterinas aren't pests. What are you talking about?
So I got some additional Harlequin shrimp for those, just to try to. If you think about it, every coral I take out and inspect is time consuming. So if I can get something to like wipe out the majority of them, so I can just turn upside down and go, then it will speed up the process. And it also takes my focus. But it shows you how closely I inspect every coral to try to make sure. And I'm trying to speed up that so I can like make it more efficient. And I just thought another 2 or 3 Harlequin shrimp will help with that process. So that's what I've done that. I've also got another box of coral in this week. So that's 4 weeks in a row I've had coral in now, because Alex is you're like my boss now, aren't you?
His performance reviews are really helping, I think, actually.
Yeah, I actually genuinely they do help. Let's put it this way: I got corals on Friday. They were on the website on Saturday. Simple as that. That never happened before.
Was that your box?
Your
box this week? Because you got coral on Saturday as well, didn't you?
Oh, that actually, yes, I did get a coral on Saturday. Yeah, Alex sent me a box. A little pot of green star polyps. Didn't you?
I did. I talked about it last week, and I wasn't sure what to do with it because it was overrun, and I fragged it. Fragging it was so easy. Like I got scissors ready. Sorry, Mrs. Reef Dork, they were the kitchen scissors, but I didn't have to use them because I pulled the rock out.
Didn't have to use them.
No, I genuinely didn't. I pulled it and it just tore off.
Yeah.
Is that what GSP is always like? It was so. It wasn't like I would expect it to be quite stiff, but it was just like you peel it and it comes off.
But do you peel off a rock, or did you peel it off the? Because
it was all no. So you can see it's still on the rock there.
Yeah.
But anything that was just on the sand was just like it wasn't attached to anything. It was attached to a bit of substrate, but that's it. So you could just peel it away. It was really. It was like a perforated piece of paper that you just tear off.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what it's
so
like.
Easy. Yeah.
In fact, when I got it, I was like, yes, because it's grown on sand and it's not like really fine sand, you can stick that to frag plugs really easily. So I actually wonder, like, I'm thinking about changing the way that I grow it.
I kept one frag myself, and there it is. I super glued it onto a frag plug, and it worked.
yeah. So that's. I'm thinking about changing the way when the work experience guy starts on Thursday and Friday this week. Next week.
I forgot about that.
We're going to be making some changes. He doesn't know this yet, but we're going to make some changes around here. And I think I will probably change how I grow GSP because, like, you're right. I can cut it to exactly what size I want it to be. Perfect frag plug size because of the sand it grows on.
Or you could get a cookie cutter that's the size of the frag plug and then and then it's a perfect, pristine, round frag of GSP.
Do you know what I actually really, really want? I want like a hole punch. For toadstool corals. Because when you frag toadstools, they're all like these weird like sizes and shapes when you cut them. Whereas if you get a perfectly round cylindrical one that you can go on the edge and then just cut that section out, it will have a hole in it, but that will give you a perfect toadstool if you like a perfectly round toadstool shape. But
without a hole punch destroys the hole that it doesn't.
No, I want it like a cookie cutter, but
cookie cutter.
Because you'll need to have pressure on top and bottom. because
Right,
obviously it's floating, isn't it? So I just want it to go like that, like plant it, and
Gotcha,
then take it out. Yeah. So that's that. I would like to do something like that. I've not worked out how to do it yet. Also, I fragged some bounce mushrooms today. Not done that for years, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I got
how did you do that?
Scalpel. I bought a brand. But sorry.
But how exactly? Slice through the mouth, slice around the mouth. What?
So the first thing I did is I got a brand new set of scalpels. So they're like, you take them out the bag, you don't touch anything with them, and then literally you cut through the middle, and you can do it once, and the survival rate is much higher if you do it with just one. But you can also do it. You can do it too. If it's a big mushroom, you can do it.
So you just cut the mushroom in half and you go through its mouth, as it were.
Yes, as long as there is a mouth on it, then it's fine. Well, it should be fine. And what's interesting, by tomorrow, the chances are it will have curled up and started to repair itself. So I'll be interested to see. I'm going to go check after the live stream actually what stage of the process they're at.
Okay.
And I did a Frankenstein bounce mushroom and a sun-kissed bounce mushroom is what I did, and I cut them into 4. So I only got the Frankenstein yesterday, Friday. So I was like, I just bought this. Shall I put a razor blade through it? Yeah, let's give it a go. Well,
it's a mushroom, isn't it? Double-eyed bastards.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think I've ever killed them from fragging them. I've killed them in other ways, like giving them too much light or not enough nutrients, but I don't think I've ever killed them from fragging them. Sometimes you can literally just pull a mushroom and it will leave a little bit behind and it will grow back, which is great for a coral seller.
But that's the dichotomy of corals, is that they're extraordinarily survivable, and things like that. You could put a zoa in your garden for a week, and then when you suddenly realise, get it back and it's fine. Or if you look at it funny, or if your manganese drops by 0.25 parts per billion, it'll go.
It is really weird, like with that corals can be absolutely like mutilated sometimes with sores and everything, and they're fine. As long as you don't let them get any infections and stuff like that. People cut scollies now. Like you can most things you can cut a drachie in half. You can cut a scolly and is it an acanthophyllia? Yeah.
Acanthophyllia.
Yeah. You can cut them in half, and as long as you don't get an infection, they're fine. And it's
that was the other thing with the GSP. So it's honest rock that I'd isolated it on, but it had also started touching one of my little coral islands, my little 3D printed ones that I don't have, annoyingly, to hand. And I was just thinking, I'll just peel it off the coral island, no problem. But it was really it was attached to that coral island in a really weird way, and it as soon as I touched it, it kind of turned to mush. So I had to kind of scrape it off, and it was I didn't scrape it all off, but it was weird. It was, in some ways you peel it off and it was no problem. Yeah. But in this one other patch, it wasn't like, because green star polyp is quite kind of a rubbery coral to touch, isn't it? Yeah. But this just went to mush immediately. It was like, that's weird.
Not sure. Maybe that was where it was spreading onto it.
It must have just been because there were the polyps on there, but it must have been a new matting part of it, and it hadn't properly grown out yet or whatever. But it was weird.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if you're announcing it now or are we doing it in the news, because there's one final bit. We're doing it in the news. Okay.
News. Fine. We're doing it in the news.
I wasn't sure if to talk about it or not. So
I know what you're going to say. So yeah, all good. Well, there's lots in the news today.
I think that's probably my week in reefing. I think. Yeah. So I'd say that's it. What about you? What's your week in reefing like?
So the tank is obviously, the Red Sea Reefer is coming along, still very slowly. I checked the other day. It's been in my house for a month now, that tank, and I've got water in it, but that's about it. I did put 2 corals in it. I put a zoas, little colony of zoas, Sunny D zoas, really nice zoas. I like Sunny Ds, and a Cyphastria. Okay. Because I just had a couple. I've got my water box is just rammed full, so I needed to move a couple off. I was like, let's just do that. There's still a little bit of ammonia in there. A tiny bit. I haven't done a proper test. I'm using the Seachem ammonia alert at the moment. I need to do a proper test. But there is some ammonia in there, but I've got Asterinas that are doing all right, and I've got the corals that are doing okay as well. But so at some point, when I'm going to wait till the ammonia dies down, of course, and it might take a week, it might take 2 weeks, I don't know, whatever. But the only thing, at some point, I'm going to transfer across everything from the water box.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, 50 corals, some really nice ones, a few fish, and a piece of rock that's been in there for at least a year, probably 2 years now.
Yeah.
So at some point, I'll go across. And the part I'm nervous about with that is the new tank. So the salinity level is spot on, 34 parts per thousand. Alkalinity is 7, wicked. But I haven't tested at the moment. But because it's a new tank, my concern is that there's going to be 0 nutrients in there.
Yeah.
And even if there's some registering, it's just not the same as a 2-year-old tank. Well, that tank's been running almost 4 years now.
Yeah.
And that it's just going to go from that established, quite nutrient-rich environment to brand new salt water that's got no biofilm built up. It's got some live rock that's been knocking around for a while. Some live rock actually from my old tank. So that's like 5-6 years old. But it's going into a brand new system, and I'm just going to be like, please be okay.
Will you use the water from the water box tank or not?
I'll use as much as I can. There's probably 120 litres in that, which is 30 gallons roughly. I reckon I'll be able to drain 80% of that.
Yeah.
But if I do that, it's a drop in the ocean. It's 10% of the water volume of the new tank. So I will do that, but it's not going to make much difference.
Have you thought about dosing phosphate and nitrate then?
Yes. I have a bottle of phosphate and a bottle of nitrate to do that if I need to. And I'll just test. I do test regularly. That's the answer, isn't it? But I'm just a bit apprehensive. But even if it's not something, it might be something I can't test for.
Yeah.
Brand new tank. It just makes me a little bit apprehensive. But anyway, I think it'll be fine. And I've done this a few times before, and it's been fine.
I'd run your lights low.
Oh, they're currently at 4%.
Yeah, I'd run them very low.
Yeah, that's that's fine. I've got no problem with running them low. But yeah, it's just I'm just going to get nervous because there are some nice corals, and I think it'll be fine. But when you move them across, I'll lose some, I'm sure.
Hopefully not, because they really are nice.
Yeah.
You'll be like, Ryan, can you take these corals for me? And I'll take my fish back, and then I'll take the corals back when when once the fish are established.
But anyway, that's tomorrow's problem. Yeah. So I bought a Bubble King skimmer for this tank. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm actually a bit underwhelmed by it, to be completely honest. Everybody says, "Oh, Bubble King, they're amazing. They're just the best skimmer you'll ever see in your life."
Yeah.
And the build quality is fantastic. I can't fault it. Build quality is the acrylic is lovely.
Yeah.
If you like acrylic, you'll love a Bubble King skimmer.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't do anything that other skimmers don't do. It's just a skimmer. I don't think it does anything special, with one exception. And this is what I discovered this time around. So my last skimmer was a Deltec 600i. Brilliant skimmer. I love it. That's my go-to skimmer. They're really, really good.
Yeah.
The build quality is awful.
Okay.
But they work very, very well. And the build quality doesn't really matter on a skimmer. Although I have had a couple of bits break off, the bits that you touch all the time. But anyway, it doesn't really matter because if it works, and that's all you really care about.
How aggressive are you when you're turning it that it breaks it off?
Not very aggressive, because it's quite rigid. It's got quite a strong friction grip.
Yeah.
And the top bit snapped off. But anyway, whatever. The build quality of Deltex is not very good, but it doesn't matter because the skimmers are brilliant. They work really well. They're very quiet. They have a compact footprint. They're really good. But when I set up ozone on that tank, on that skimmer, I haven't got it, but I use that little glass T-piece. Yeah. So the air line that draws air into the skimmer, you just tee that off, and part of it will keep drawing air from the normal place, but the other part that you tee off draws air through your ozone generator. And the idea is it injects ozone. Fine, no problem, right? When I set that up, you could hear it because you go and listen to a shell on the seashore. If you put your ear next to the ozone generator, you could hear that the air was being sucked through, but you had to listen really, really carefully. It was like, air is being cut. Yeah, there is some air going through there. It was really quiet. When I connected up the Bubble King to my ozone generator this week, it was like a jumbo jet. You could hear this enormous suck. Okay. This air coming through the ozone generator. I was like, wow, it's really pulling, because it's got a separate ozone port. It really pulls air through the ozone generator. And I said before, I wasn't really blown away by ozone on my last tank. I was like, It's okay. It's made a difference, but not really. It's not amazing.
Yeah.
And on this one, this tank is the water is brand new, so it looks pristine anyway. So I've actually got it disconnected and turned off now. But I think when I turn this on and when I run it through the Bubble King, I think it will be much more effective because it's just drawing in so much air through the generator that it wasn't with the Deltec. So I think it'll be much more effective.
So, but what I got from that is it makes more noise than before.
No. Forget the noise. The noise is just an indication of how much air is being pulled through.
Oh, I see. So you can't hear the noise when you're like.
No.
Oh,
You won't.
sorry.
You won't be able to. So that I'll set it all up so you can't hear it. It's not going to be noisy. The point is, you couldn't really. You could tell that the Deltec was drawing some air through the
This is a lot
generator,
more. Yeah.
but this is it's night and day. So I don't think the Deltec. I think effectively the Deltec wasn't set up properly for ozone.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I wasn't getting good results with it. Whereas with this, because the Bubble King is designed with specific, they think about it and design it with ozone in mind.
Yeah.
So it's got a separate port. You don't tee it off. That I think it will be much more effective when I connect ozone up to it. Probably in a couple of months' time. But
was that really expensive, that skimmer?
yeah, £1,000.
I just because I don't know much about them, if I'm honest. So.
Which, and to be fair, so there was the only reason I got that was I was looking at they're about double the price of, maybe not quite double. An equivalent skimmer that isn't Bubble King is around £600 of the one I bought. Yeah. So it's less than double the price, but it is expensive, and £600 is already a lot of money for a skimmer. But the one I wanted was a Regal Octopus. But it was the Elite 150 or something. I can't remember what it was called, but they don't do it in the UK. There are two models that are very, very similar, and I think it was the ozone port. In the US, they get all of them. In the UK, we only get the one without the ozone port. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's the one model that I wanted. We don't get in the UK, and if it weren't for that, I would have bought that instead. But when I was like, well, I can't get hold of that, I'm going to get a Bubble King.
Oh, you can always get hold of things if you try hard enough.
Maybe, but I don't want to have to. Look, I'm not going
to. You're funny about plug sockets, aren't you? We can't.
No, not even that. I just like if it's not available. If I want to be able to buy it, and I know that I can. If there's a problem, I can go back to my.
Yeah.
I want it easy. I don't want it difficult.
True.
But yeah. So the Bubble King is slightly underwhelming, but the ozone performance, and I haven't actually run it yet, but it feels like it's going to be incredible compared to the Deltec for ozone.
Yeah. Well,
I bought something else as well that makes me look like a bit of a hypocrite, Ryan.
Oh.
Do you remember what that was? I've told you about it.
Additional plug sockets. Oh, I do. Yes, I know.
I've got it here.
It's the contactless heater.
CJ Scuba contactless heater.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There you go. We now know at least one person has bought that heater.
Yeah. So I think it'll be popular, to be fair. It's a 400-watt one. And
so how you've changed your tune.
Oh, no. It was never not going to be popular. I never said it was going to be an awful product. I just don't get why they do. I still don't get why it's contactless. But anyway.
Have you tried it yet?
I've not set it up yet, no. So I've got it. This is going to be my backup heater. My main heater is a 650 watt, I think, titanium heater. And that's keeping the temperature fine.
Yeah.
So I probably don't need this. It's always better to have a backup. So I'll set that up at some point. I just need to make sure I just need to set it up properly. So it's going to take an hour or two. And I haven't got around to it yet. But I'll set that up as my backup heater.
Will you do a review video? Please do a review video.
Probably not. It's a heater.
Definitely not.
No, probably not. It's a heater. No one cares about it. This is the thing with if someone sends me something, I have to make a review video.
Yeah.
But if I buy it myself, something like a heater, no one's going to watch that video, are they?
Okay.
It's a boring one to make.
Will you at least do your own private review and send it to me on WhatsApp?
I will talk about it on the live stream.
Okay.
I'll talk about it on the live stream.
I just want the WhatsApp video of you using the contactless on it.
I know. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But anyway, so I've got a contactless heater that I said was a ridiculous gimmick, which it is a ridiculous gimmick, but 5-year warranty. That's why I bought it. When you look at, I was either going to buy that or an Eheim one.
Yeah.
Because they're both very, very, they've got an excellent reputation for reliability, both of those companies. And I can't remember why I chose this over the Eheim one, but basically that's, all you want from a heater is reliability.
True. That is true.
So
yeah.
It's long though. It's half a meter long.
Is it titanium?
No, it's glass.
I've not had a glass heater for a very long time.
No, me neither. My last one on the last tank. Actually, that's not true. On all my tanks, I use glass heaters, but my main tank I had titanium heaters for 5-6 years. So
I don't know why. I have this thing where I'm like, oh, I wouldn't use a glass heater, but I've not had an experience that would make me feel like that, if you see what I mean.
No, they're actually really solid as well. You're not going to smash them. You'd be extraordinarily unlucky to smash them. But and actually, I was on the fence about the titanium heaters because there's been a lot of people lately. I had the Shago, sorry. I think we talked about this last week on my last tank. They ran for 5-6 years fine. A lot of people lately have been saying the DD ones, which is the same one, it's just different branding. They've been failing, and look, heaters fail. So I bought it because I thought, like, heaters fail, so who cares? And maybe it's just people are talking about it more. But it seems anecdotally that those titanium ones are failing more now than they did before. But who knows? That's real finger in the air.
I'll add them to the list.
I know, yeah, put them on the list. But yeah, I'll talk about it on this bad boy. What else? Cycle ammonia. There we go. Oh, and I bought a last thing actually. I bought a what's it called? An anemone crab yesterday.
Oh yeah. Oh, with the little like pom poms.
No, the fans. They got fans. They're filter feeders.
Oh, so it's not.
Oh no, not the pom pom. No. Like yeah. Sorry,
I know which one.
Porcelain crab. Then they're also known as.
Yeah.
I'll show you a photo because he's a good boy. So this is the one, and they've got, you can't see it, but he's got the filter figures there. She's nice.
I like his hairstyle.
I know. It's not a very good photo, to be fair. I didn't get him in focus. Anyway, doesn't matter. Oh, hang on. View hidden comments. What's someone saying? This is the thing, right? So what species is this? That's what Instagram decided to hide.
Yeah, I know.
And that means that you don't see it until you actually click on it. Anyway, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, so the thing is, so I put him in there yesterday. And within about 5 seconds, he was sat with the anemones. I was like, that's what you need to do. My clownfish, still messing around. They've got no interest in it. There's 3 anemones in there, and they're not interested. It's like, just get in there.
The more I watch your fish here, actually, I realise that your clownfish is mean. It's mean to the other fish. Have you not noticed that?
In my tank, it would chase a fish if it got too close to it. But it would chase it for about 6 inches and it get bored.
Yeah. It wasn't. It's just when I go over to feed them, like all the fish come over, like for the food, and but the clownfish is like pushing the others out the way. If you see what I mean, it chases them away.
It's a big stocky fish.
Yeah, the other fish that I really, really am becoming less and less fond of is your that rabbit fish.
Oh, really? Oh,
it's trying to get me. It's literally actively trying to get me.
He just wants to cuddle.
I put my hand in there, and rather than swimming away, it swims over to me. And I'm like, why? Like, stop doing this. I don't want to be your friend. So, just for people who don't know, that rabbitfish is venomous. So, and I've never been stung by a rabbitfish, but I hope I don't find out.
Just a quick one. East Coast Reefer, he says, I'll send you a video of getting my clowns in my anemone. It worked overnight. If you do send it, post it on the Facebook, on the Prestige Reef Dork Show Facebook group. Because if people send me videos or pictures or whatever on Instagram all the time, I don't see it. So if you're going to send it to me, don't PM it to me. Put it on the Prestige Reef Dork Show Facebook page. Yeah. But I did find a video of someone uploaded a video on YouTube of their clowns in an anemone. And I've got a tablet, like an 8-inch tablet, and I was going to put it next to the tank and see if that worked. But the tablet's rubbish, so it wouldn't load the video. It was so, but I might do that at some point.
Was the video of how the man got it into the anemone just
no? It was
holding a clownfish in an anemone.
It was 2 clownfish in an anemone, and he'd spliced it so it was an hour-long video of clownfish in an anemone, basically. Yeah, and supposedly, if you show that to clownfish, they're like, "Oh, that's what it's for. Thanks, cheers. I'll do that now." Maybe. I don't know if that actually works, but what I need to do is put it on my phone and sellotape my phone to the side of the tank. Yeah. So they can watch it.
You've got clownfish in that tank, haven't you? Yeah. I was trying to which clownfish you got.
Yeah. Snowflakes. They're really cool, actually. I like snowflakes. They used to be really expensive, and they're not crazy now.
Most clownfish were like that. In fact, I've not seen like a newer variation of clowns for a long time. The last serious like new variation were the black storms. They were like the really popular ones.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything for a while with. Have you seen the zombie clownfish?
Are they the long fin ones?
No, they're literally like they look like dead clownfish. And I'm like, why are these being marketed like to sell? I think they've got like a red eye and they're just pasty like they look awful.
Yeah, and that's you can see that photo is taken with the sun shining on them to exaggerate the effect, I suppose.
That is what clownfish looks like after it's jumped out of your tank, and then you find it 12 hours later on the floor.
Yeah. Weird, isn't it? But okay, whatever you're into. And that I think is the end of my week in reefing. Oh, actually, on zombies, I've started watching Walking Dead series 11 recently. Isn't
there are 11 series of that?
I know.
I've only seen one episode.
The first 2 or 3 series were really good. The rest of it has gone downhill massively. But anyway,
we're just addicted.
Yeah, exactly, and it's something to watch on the train. And I've got. In fact, that segues into the member questions because someone's asked a question. So this is JJS, and he says not strictly reefing related, not reefing related at all, JJS. but he says so. Feel free to skip on the show. I'm not gonna. I'm coming from New York to London next week for the baseball games. Any recommendation on things to do that the average tourist might not be aware of? So I work in London, but I'm the worst person to ask because I hate the place.
I actively avoid London most of the time.
Yeah. So. I don't live in London, so the only time I spend there is work. But
enjoy your holiday.
Yeah. But a tourist would love it. If you're not from the UK, you'll love London. Yeah. But the only recommendations I've got are restaurants, and there are 2 very small chains. I think they've probably got half a dozen restaurants each, called Home Slice, HOME, new word, SLICE, Home Slice. That's Terry Wogan's son's restaurant, and it's a pizza place. If you like pizza, they're amazing. Just have a look. They're fantastic. And also there's a steak place called Flat Iron, and it's very reasonably priced. The steak is delicious. It's so good. So if you like steak, check out Flat Iron. If you like steak and you got a load of money, go to Hawksmoor. I've not been, but it looks amazing, and all the people I've spoken to say it's fantastic, but I can't afford it. But yeah, so those are my recommendations. I'm afraid I don't really.
So out of interest, how much does a steak at Hawksmoor cost?
They do it by the gram, so if you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's those are my recommendations. I'm afraid I don't like London, so I can't tell you anything. And I did think about it, but there was nothing I could think of that I thought in the chat. Actually, if you like London, if you've been there lots, say what you would recommend someone visiting from America to do that you might not see on the top 10 TripAdvisor.
I would not recommend going to the aquarium because the London Aquarium is not very good.
The only thing I would say is the Thames Clipper, the little boats that go up at the Thames, they're quite good for getting around, and they give you a bit of a different perspective. And Greenwich Park is really nice as well, but that's just a park.
For me, just going on the tube is an experience. So
it's an experience, all right. Borough Market, for a snack in London, try good fried chicken in Soho. I would recommend watching your pockets. I've never been pickpocketed, to be fair, but don't go to London, says Steve Webb. Yeah, but anyway, it'll be fantastic and you'll love it. There's a place on, is it Heron Tower? They've got the big fish tank.
Yeah. I've never seen it, but you've mentioned it.
It's not very impressive. I wouldn't, if you're coming over from America, I wouldn't say, oh mate, you've got to go there. So, no. But I hope that kind of helps. And you'll see, if you're watching the live stream, you'll see some recommendations in the chat. Oh, Box Park. Is that Camden? Is that Clapham? I can't remember. Anyway. Next question from Gary McConnell. Setting up yet another tank. What's the best substrate for fungia? As most suggest fine sand, but Tidal Garden suggests a coarse substrate. Looking forward to this one as an avid zoa collector. Ryan, you're a fungia man.
I've seen both of those. I think they come from substrate in the wild where it's actually like rockier pieces. It's not like fine sand.
Okay.
However, I've kept them on fine sand without any issue. I do wonder, however, because obviously as sand gets blown around, it gets blown onto the coral, which is why very fine sand is not recommended. But I wonder, if you think about it, it has to exert energy to get the sand off of it. So if it's constantly like trying to get the sand off, because the way it does it is it blows up into like a big balloon to like get the flesh. Like at night you see them and they're huge. I'm not going to say any sizes that they can or anything like that, but yeah, they can blow like a big balloon at night to get any sand off them. And I just think if it's doing that all the time, that's exerting a huge amount of energy. So probably not too fine and not too coarse, I would say is so the Goldilocks sand ratio.
Does it matter?
I don't think it matters massively. Like I never had an issue with and my sand grain is usually between 1 to 2 millimeters, but as I said, I'm pretty sure in the wild they come from like like the chunky bits.
Right. Okay. I don't like fine sand anyway. Blows all over the place. It looks good on day one. That's about it.
Yeah.
But that's maybe I've got my flow too high. But there you go. Coarse sand. Edward, there's loads of member questions this week, by the way. Edward says, my aquascape is made up of 3 structures, much like mine. The one on the left is my green hair algae factory. Is this indicative of poor flow in that area? Yes, I'm fighting nutrient issues, but I'm curious about how specific the growth is. Wouldn't have thought flow would affect green hair algae. I wonder if it's a different different type of rock to the rest of your rock. The times I've had one piece of rock grow algae and not others is when I had on my last tank, my main tank, I put a new RR Aquascapes piece in.
Yeah.
And I don't think I had a phosphate spike, but I have had on other tanks with that aquascape. But that got covered in this like brown fuzzy stuff, and it wasn't anywhere else.
Yeah.
And eventually, over time, it died off. So, did you say it was a new scape? No. But it wouldn't be because of flow. I wouldn't have thought.
No.
I'd be very surprised.
It would be. It's most likely because of some sort of nutrients in that rock.
Urchins are your friend with green hair algae. But yeah, something in the rock. But it wouldn't be flow. But yeah. Push button reef. What's the best coral to help reduce nutrients if you don't have a refugium?
Well, something you can grow quickly and take out.
Yeah.
So I think some people have used Xenia, but I think when I say some people, I think one person did it.
So when I started with Xenia, in my first tank, I came up with this brilliant idea. I'm gonna have a refugium with Xenia in it, and I was like, I'm gonna Google it to see if other people. I couldn't find anyone who'd done it. Do you think that meant A? Do you think that meant A, I was a genius?
No.
Or B, it's because it's a terrible idea.
It's a terrible idea.
Exactly, because I think it's likely to get everywhere. But so yeah, corals, anything that will grow quickly. But that's the other point, is you said that you've got to remove it. Well, I suppose you have to because it's in the flesh of the tissue. But yeah, anything that will grow quickly, and if you don't have a refugium, more corals. But if you really want to do it, then Xenia will grow fast.
Yeah,
and it's soft coral. So
yeah.
He has a follow-up question.
I'd be wondering how he got to the issue, if you see what I mean, rather than because obviously it's too much input. If you're having a problem, it's either too much input or not enough export.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'd do water changes. I can't remember what size tank it is, Paul. Oh, here we go. Hang on. I don't have a refugium. He says I have low calcium, 330. Wow, is that right? Double check that. That doesn't say. I would focus on that more than the how can I bring my calcium up. So I've just bought overstocked with fish. Okay, you might be worth putting some fish out. I've just bought some calcium, the stuff you make. What's it called? Calcium
chloride,
chloride. Calcium chloride, yeah. So it's on the Facebook page. So
yeah.
So I've just bought some of that. I'm going to mix because my calcium is low as well. Yeah. So I'm going to mix that up and add that gently. But you can buy Red Sea calcium or any other branded calcium. Just in a bottle and add it. And if your magnesium is high, you shouldn't have a problem with increasing your calcium. So just buy calcium and pour it in.
Yeah.
Don't just pour it in. Obviously, take your time, test and retest, go slowly, etc. But
yeah.
But yeah. And his follow-up question is: Has anyone had any experience with the Red Sea Complete Care yet? So in the chat, let me know if you've seen it. But this is actually a coincidence because today. And I bought this, Ryan. I was not given this. I didn't buy it to suck up to Red Sea.
Is it Red Sea related?
It is Red Sea related. But I have no. I'm not. I've got no interest in kissing up to Red Sea. However, I bought the Red Sea Reef Care program thing
Okay.
today. All right. So they actually said they were going to send me some, but it hasn't arrived yet. And I don't know if they changed their minds or whatever, or maybe there's supply problems. I don't know. But on my main tank for now, I just want to run Calquasa. So I'm just going to run what I know on my main tank. But on my Cade, I want to change because I want to switch away from Reef Elements pH Plus. So I bought this one because I thought, well, you know what, it's relatively expensive, but I like the idea of it being low maintenance. Whether it actually will turn out that way is another matter.
Yeah.
But on paper, it looks good. So that's why I bought it. I haven't set it up as yet. And I'm probably not going to set it up until next week because I need the pH Plus stuff burnt through my dosing head. And I've ordered a new rubber line for that. But so when that arrives in the next week, I'll set it up and I'll start it. And I'll report back on it. But on paper, it looks like a good idea. The one thing that I was surprised at, because I actually asked Red Sea about this when I spoke to them about the tank, I said, "What's the complete the Reef Care, whatever it's called? What's that made of? Will it increase my pH?" And they said no. And I thought, in my mind, I had it that they told me it was made from sodium bicarbonate, which is what you use, right?
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that doesn't increase your pH.
Correct.
So I was slightly surprised, and maybe I misheard. Maybe I didn't ask the right question or misheard the answer or something when I spoke to them. But this is sodium carbonate, so this will increase your pH.
Yeah.
Because the reason I started, I was curious because the alkalinity bottle says KH/alkalinity and pH stabilizer, and my first thought was pH stabilizer. Shut up! And I turned it around to see the instructions. I was like, oh, actually, maybe it will increase. And I mean, stabilizer, whatever. But pH increaser, maybe, possibly. So maybe it'll do something. But anyway, so I haven't tried it as yet, but I have the bottles, and I have two of the 2-head dosing pumps for Red Sea dosing pumps.
Yeah.
That again I bought myself. So I will be trying it at some point. I'll feedback. It'll probably be a while before I've got any useful data. But
that's what I was thinking. You're like, how can you tell if it's going to make a difference or not in reality?
That's the thing. I've switched. I'm using Reef Elements. I don't like it because I find you have to. So I've diluted it, but you have to. When I was dosing 2 milliliters per day of alkalinity, and I don't like that because it's really difficult to. If your alkalinity goes up, you've not got much wiggle room to adjust it. You can adjust it down to 1 milliliter per day, but that's not. And you can dilute it, of course, and then add more. But that's a pain in the backside. So I just don't like it. But the tank looks great. The tank looks absolutely fine. When I switch over to the Red Sea Reef Care program, and my coral's going to suddenly, like, if the next day my corals look amazing, well, okay, fair enough, maybe it's done something. But realistically, I probably won't notice any difference. It probably won't make any changes whatsoever. And 6 months down the line, I'll be like, tank looks all right.
So that's the thing, because you have to do it for so long. You won't remember what it was like before when you weren't using it, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
So how are you going to go, oh, these colours are better than they were before? Because you won't remember what colours they were before.
So I have lots of photos, or I have some photos and videos, but even then, this won't be the only thing that I've changed.
Yeah.
Because so I did a water change, 30% water change for the first time in a long time today, probably 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So, and the plan is to keep doing them regularly now. So will it be that instead? Will I start feeding more, whatever? Is there anything else interesting I can tell you? I've not even looked into this yet, probably, to be honest. But so yeah, will it make a difference? I'm not buying it because I think it's going to improve my tank.
Yeah.
I'm buying it because I like that it runs out in the same amount and that I can adjust the dose more easily and all that sort of stuff. So
it's convenient, I think. I had a very brief look at it the other day. I can't remember where I was, but I'm not going to talk about it because I don't know enough about it, so there's no point. So there's been a super chat. I don't know if you noticed that.
There has. I hope that answers the question, by the way. I'll feedback. And this is from Melanie Martinez fan. He says, what's a coral that grows in the shade? Not an NPS. I have one. Oh, you bastard.
Also, Freak Hair Pavona. That will literally grow in the dark. I'm not even joking. That's the coral that grows. Also, what Funny Farm Leptoceras. I'm thinking about all the corals that are growing under the frag racks. In fact, there's a few different Leptoceras actually doing it. Yeah, so Sophastria, Leptoceras, Pavona.
Ooh. What's the Blastos? Blastos like a bit of shade.
Yeah, but Yeah, it's very shade.
Maybe not full on shade.
Yeah, I was thinking of pitch blackness, but you're right. Yeah, it is shade.
Yeah. But yeah, South was the one I was going to suggest. So there you go. You got a few from the sounds of it. I'm here to learn about how RD's tank is coming along, but I'm wondering if you lads could itemize what tanks you're maintaining at the moment. The Cade, the water box, the Reef Casa, and the Red Sea one. You can find videos of all of them on my channel somewhere.
And for me, if you use the word maintaining very loosely, it's the 2 systems in the coral farm and the water box loosely, and which I'm just ignoring, and obviously a quarantine tank upstairs, which I did my first wall change on it for ages the other day.
Oh, water change on the quarantine tank.
I don't normally do it, but it's been quite a long time, so.
They're all fish are all fine in there, I take it?
Fine, yeah, and I'm 99% sure there is no parasites in there now at all. Like they went through the copper and everything, and there's one fish which is very prone to it, which is the jewel tang. That was the first one to show before, and I just think if that's not got it, we're good to go.
Touch wood.
Touch wood, yeah.
Member questions carrying on. Let me just make sure I've not missed anything. Green hair algae, going to London. Fungia, coral to reduce noise. Nano Nana says, what is the best way to get delicate corals off of frag plugs, especially things like hammers / frog spawn / torches?
Yeah, see, that is a tricky one. Even one of my customers the other day bought this beautiful orange frog spawn, took it home, took it off the frag plug, and she cracked it all the way. Yeah, and one of the heads didn't survive. It had 2 heads. Those are the best thing with those is some bone cutters. Cut the stem off first, and then try and trim round. Don't try and break the actual some glue is really easy to get corals off. Ecotex coral glue, for example, really easy, just cracks off. Yeah, some BRS glue, pain in the ass. It's like you cannot get it off. So there is a difference depending on what coral glue is being used. But you're better off. I don't like to take I use a saw basically if I'm going to take it off.
Saw,
yeah. But so you're better off trying to break off the plug rather than trying to break the stalk off.
No hobbyists have a Dremel, a bandsaw, but the Reef Keeper's a good shout. Dremel with a diamond saw. SC1415 or something is the code for the Dremel diamond one. That's what I use, and it's super thin. Yeah. So they are good, but because they're not very wide, you can't cut through because the if your frag plug's here, the Dremel won't go past it. It's not it's a tiny little cutting disc. Yeah. But that's probably the best shout. I just use coral cutters right at the base, and I just snap it like that. And it cracks off, and I've never had a problem, but that doesn't mean you won't have a problem.
I've had a problem loads of times.
Yeah.
Obviously, I deal with loads and loads and loads of them.
Exactly.
I think I've probably got 100, probably 150, 200 heads of hammers, frog spawns, torches, and everything. And each one gets removed from a plug and stuck down on a new one. And trust me, I've had it loads of times.
Yeah, maybe I've just got lucky. What's the best coral glue? You use Ecotech coral glue, don't you?
Ecotech, I do like those. I also use BRSs as well. That's how I know the difference between them.
Okay, I use Polyp Lab. It's called a grenade. It comes in a little tub with about 30 of them. And I like that you get a small tube because then if it dries up, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And it's fine. But I don't think there is a best coral glue, to be honest. Any super glue with cyanoacrylate is what you want to use, and gel is generally better. I think most people prefer gel.
That's the only difference it makes. Whatever brand is, doesn't matter. As you want it to be thick, because if it's not thick and it's like watery, it doesn't stick. You can't stick a coral into it because it absorbs into the frag plug.
Yeah. All right. So Dremel diamond disc. Just be very careful. I think your advice on the frag plugs with torches and that would be just don't take them off. Maybe cut the stem off the frag plug. Maybe.
So it depends because if you have a thin frag plug, you can cut the stem off first and then cut round the edges of the frag plug. It just breaks off in sections. But don't use a crushing motion on a torch or a hammer or a frog spawn, because they're fragile and they'll crack all the way up. And once that happens, it's bad news usually.
Yeah, okay. Edward has a question, and he says, bonus question. He asked earlier about the 3 structures with the green algae. Have you seen the war between Bulk Reef Supply and Coral View, the makers of Hydros Controller and the distributor of Reef Octopus? I saw some fuss on Instagram about this. Did you see it? I think I sent you a picture of the Coral View post.
Yeah, but I didn't really understand it, and I don't really know I'm not sure what's going on. So
no, I did see it, but I couldn't. I think Coral View. I think Bulk Reef Supply had discounted some Coral View stuff heavily, and then Coral View posted a cryptic post that said some vendors have been listing things below map price. We're aware of this, or something like that. And I was like, okay, but obviously Bulk Reef Supply. I don't think they get on with Coral View with Hydros.
Anyone apparently anymore.
Oh, maybe not. But I don't. The thing is, I don't really know any of this, and I saw it.
Yeah,
but I'm not really interested in it. One, because it feels like drama to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
But 2, because it's not like, if this was 2 shops in the UK, it would hit home for me a bit more. But like, it's 2 shops in the US, or a vendor and a manufacturer in a shop in the US. And I don't know. I saw it, and you can go and check out there was a Coral View post on Instagram about it. But it feels like the BRS are being accused of being bully boys because they've cornered the market basically, and they don't sell the Hydros, and they prefer to sell their own stuff. And there was something about GHL this week. GHL had stopped selling through Bulk Reef Supply, because I think their post suggested that BRS had said, no, we want to focus on products that have a higher profit margin or something. I can't remember what it was, but there's a bit of fuss at the moment, and it feels like people are saying that BRS are abusing their position as a dominant player in the market. But I don't really know what's going on. I did consider contacting BRS and just saying, just out of curiosity, GHL and Coral View have both posted with their side of the story. What's your side of the story? But I presume they wouldn't want to get into it. And I don't really want to get into it either, to be honest. I don't want to be it's the sort of thing that kick up a storm. And
see, JJ's just put something. It says BRS seem to only want to sell their own stuff.
Yeah,
that makes logical sense. It does. I know, whether people want to hear it or not. As far as I'm concerned, it makes logical sense. I'm not saying it's like a nice thing to do or whatever, but logically,
as a business, you mean?
Business perspective, is that not logical?
But no one's saying, because if BRS wants to look after itself, that's one thing, but that's bad for the hobby.
Yeah, true.
They're reducing competition and so on. So I think that's like, people aren't criticizing BRS for doing bad business practices that will harm BRS. They're criticizing them because they'll harm everybody else.
Okay, I see. Yeah, see, I don't know enough to actually have an opinion, and sometimes I say things and people will go, I'll have people after me now.
Yeah, and I have to say that the whole BRS thing, I don't like the way BRS has changed since this new company they got taken over.
Yeah,
they don't have videos anymore. Ryan stopped making videos.
That's the one thing I actually do I do think is sad. Now, don't get me wrong, I didn't watch most of their videos, but I did watch them originally, like years ago, and it makes a difference. And they're gone now. Like, the old videos are still there, but they're not new videos. No, that does actually make a difference. That makes far more of a difference to people around the world than if they sell Coral View. It just does, in my opinion.
I think the whole Coral View issue is actually a big issue, but I think we just don't see it so much. But the whole, so they've become a bit of a, they seem to be, I don't know if I want to say they're like a bully, but what I mean, I know.
1 second, I'll add them to the list in capital letters.
What I mean is that they seem to have fallen out with a few companies, and I've only seen one side of the story, so who knows? But it seems a lot of people don't like what BRS is doing.
Yeah,
I don't really have any insight into it, to be honest. I haven't seen them, but I don't like it. I have to say, I'd rather everybody just gets on. But anyway, the main thing for me is that the channel's gone down the hill. They still got a few, like Matthew and Thomas do all their stuff. I assume they do. Actually, I don't watch those videos, to be completely honest, because they're not aimed at me. But they're not. It's not the same as it used to be.
Yeah, but nothing.
But I did see the fight.
Nothing in life ever stays the same. So you just have to enjoy it while you
Yeah.
can. And it's
Yeah.
just true. Nothing ever stays the same.
But I did see it. Yes, I didn't really. Yeah, I know. Just a load of fuss, though. I don't know. I'd rather just wait to sit back and see what happens in 6 months' time, because this is all kind of fresh breaking.
Yeah.
So see how it pans out. But yeah, I did see some fuss. If you want to know the drama, go and have a look on. It was on the Reef to Reef page of GHL, I think, and then on the Coral View Instagram page, so you can see what they were saying. But yeah, I did see. It's funny when companies air their dirty laundry in public like that, though.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody, even if there are companies that are in the right and companies in the wrong there, I don't think anyone comes out of it looking great.
There is also, and when you sent this to me, I said this is the only industry where people do, like, there'll be other industry obviously that do this, I'm sure, but like I worked in another industry. I actually worked in it's not very exciting, an air conditioning and ventilation industry for 14 years. Yeah, not once do you ever see people. If I posted something like that about a supplier going, "Oh, this person's not working anymore," the other companies would be like, what is wrong with you? Like, why are you causing a fuss?
People don't care about air conditioning. You buy air conditioning because you want to be cooler and you want the most reliable and the cheapest.
Yes.
Whereas this is pets and this is people's lives, you know.
Yeah, I know, but
yeah, I know what you mean. But
it seems what you said to me was this is a very small industry and everyone knows each other when I said that to you. So I do kind of get it from that perspective.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I like, you know me, I like to have no drama. So
I know I like no drama. And that wasn't going to be in the news this week because it doesn't feel like news; it feels like drama.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
But I don't mind talking about it, by the way. So you can ask. You can always ask.
Yeah.
But you know, so there you go. Next member question is, what's the worst? This is from Licia Reese. What's the worst hitchhiker you've seen? I have a video of the worst one I've seen. But Ryan, what have you got? You must have seen some weird stuff.
You do? Oh, I see weird stuff all the time, but I couldn't even ID. I can't tell you what it is. If you see what I mean, because I don't know what it is. I've seen all these weird worms and stuff, but as far as I'm concerned, the worst hitchhiker is vermited snails. They're the worst. Although what I realized is they sort of reach a maximum capacity and then they just sort of die off, and then you don't really get them so much anymore.
The reason they're bad is because they make corals look ugly because they drill through the skeletons, don't they? And then you just have these little spikes and
So but with regards to, and like I've had gorilla crabs and stuff like that come in, but are they that bad? You see what
sump crabs? I love living in the sump.
Yeah. So, but with regards to things that are actual bad vermites, I would say would be the most difficult to get rid of.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll show a video of mine in a second. In fact, no. Let's not get distracted. I'm going to show a video of mine. Let's wind that back and get it ready. Play. Go. Here we go. Hang on. So this was a rock. I bought this massive rock that had really nice acros on it.
Yeah.
And I just cracked the rock open, and they're like earthworms. These things. Yeah. Horrible. And this was buried. There was no hole where I could see where they got in or where they could get out. They were just buried within this rock.
Are they not bristleworms, but just haven't got their bristles out?
They could just be bristleworms.
Yeah.
They could be bobbit worms. I don't know. But and because they were deep within the rock, maybe they were just underdeveloped or whatever. But that was the most disgusting thing I'd seen. I was like, ugh.
I know. I get proper weird stuff coming.
Yeah.
There was this massive what was it? I can't remember what it was. There was sometimes you get these weird crab things, and I don't know if they're crabs or shrimp or anything. And I'm just like, what are you? And I don't know if they're good or bad, so they get removed. It's as simple as that. But there's I do see some really, and someone will know. A scientist will know what they are. I remember Mindy used to have these these. It was like this sort of caterpillar worm kind of thing, like this. I know people that are listening on the thing. I can't describe this motion.
It's the motion of a caterpillar's legs moving.
Yes. That was really weird, and it was all silvery. And if you wait, if it sensed you're in the room, it would immediately hide. It knew the room. It didn't confine itself to the tank. It could. That was really weird. I think she actually put a video on her channel. I think specifically of that thing. and still I have no idea what it was either.
What one really good thing to get if you want to know what's in your tank that's freaky at night?
Yeah.
One of these red torch.
Yeah.
Just get so this just sits by my tank. It's just got Amazon for a 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
And when you go in at night, for a start, you see your cleaner shrimp because cleaner shrimp are never out, or very rarely in my tank anyway. When you go in at night, they're all over the place. But get a red torch because obviously fish can't see and inverts can't see red light, but you can see them. That's really cool. That's a good question, actually. To be fair, that could be a whole live stream topic on its own.
East Coast Reefers just said I should get a Fluval Evo and dump all the weird stuff in it, which is so true. It could be like a battle royale. Just put everything like random in there.
Do you know what? A tank just for hitchhikers. That's actually,
but just for really weird stuff.
That's not a bad idea, actually. I like that. But yeah, things like people get mantis shrimp and pistol shrimp as hitchhikers, don't they?
Yeah.
Have you ever had them?
Not as far as I know. No, the crabs are the crabs are the most regular ones that come in. Right. And it's usually on the acros, and they're not acro crabs.
Oh, I was good. I just started thinking about acro crabs.
I had a little acro crab the other day, and I think I tell you, I thought I had one, and I thought I told you. Yeah, I had a little acro crab coming the other day.
They're awesome, and I love them, but I don't have acros anymore, so I don't care.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, so I got an acro crab, and I thought you wanted one of those. You said you'd drive straight down and get it if I had one, but but I thought you haven't got any acros anymore. So
no, they're so cool though.
And your life will be much better now.
Yeah. I love acro crabs. And final question. Hang on, let me just refresh just to make sure there's no more comments that have been added in the last hour. No, this is from Tom Bishbash Bishbosh. Sorry. Both the UK's #1 coral selling website and the UK's leading YouTube channel for reefing will be at Aqua H. What's the best way to come say hi and possibly autograph my algae scraper? So
I charge £5 per autograph. So
£5. Oh, I charge 10, but I
that's because you're the UK's leading YouTuber.
I'm a bigger deal than you, so
true.
yeah. The best way we'll be walking around, but it's actually you'll be selling corals, so you're not going to be. I presume there'll be times when you'll have quiet times, but it'll be pretty intense. So I would guess you're not going to be chatting during the day.
I have no idea what it'll be like. I literally
my plan is to find all the vendors and do little interview videos where I just say, all right, what have you got that's exciting? Tell us about it, those sort of things. So I might be doing a lot of videos, but and I suspect that you and I will get people trying to talk to us. So we might be that we struggle, but Saturday night after, so you and I have booked our hotels, right?
Yeah.
We'll be at the
Separate
Premier
rooms,
Inn.
just to clarify.
We're staying at the Premier Inn. So if you want to stay at the same hotel, that's where we're staying. And on the Saturday, I'll be there both days. You'll be there both days.
Yeah.
On the Saturday, we'll be going out for a couple of beers at the pub. I can't remember what it's called.
There's a pub literally outside the Premier Inn. I'm assuming that's where.
Happy Days. So that's probably the best place.
Yeah.
Because both I would anticipate during the day we'll be busy, but I would still encourage people to come up and say hello. Because I'm never too busy to say hello to a fish friend. Friend.
Look, it'll be a very intense day for me. I think I am not sure how I feel about it yet, but So, but obviously, like I love talking to like fish weirdos and people that follow the channel. So, like I'm a fish weirdo too. So are you. So yeah, I like always feel you can come up and talk to me. Basically, sometimes you see people in the shops and they're like, are you that guy? I'm like, yes, you can come over. Just come talk to me. So, and sometimes people will send me a message. This is the weirdest thing. You'll go to a shop. Someone will see you, and then you'll get a message on Instagram going, "I just saw you in this shop."
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't you just come and say hello?
Do you ever reply to those messages?
Yeah, I just reply saying, "Why don't you come and say hello?"
So like if you message me afterwards, after you've seen me and say, "I think I saw you," I'm not going to reply. But if you come and talk to me, I'll talk to you. So
if you come talk to me, I have to reply.
No, because if I were to reply to, the reason I don't reply to private messages is because if I were to do that, that's all I would do with my time.
Yeah,
and it's just I have to draw the line somewhere basically, and that's where I choose to. But talk to me in the shop anytime you see me. Talk to me. I don't mind at all. And at Aqua H, I'm mad for it.
You're like the #1 celebrity going. They've done like a billboard for you, haven't they?
There is. What, this bad boy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that.
Special guest.
Alex, Reef Dork, run by Alex, is a leading UK YouTube channel.
The
leading. The leading.
You know what? You weren't there. So when I originally spoke to the marketing team about them making this for you, I said just make sure it says he's number one. that's what I said in there. But they obviously didn't do it.
Well, same thing basically.
Yeah.
But yeah. So best way is probably just come. Like I'll be around. Come talk to me.
Yeah.
And best way with Ryan. Buy some expensive corals, and then he'll be really friendly.
Yeah. So basically, I'm behind a paywall of a fish tank.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting because I think people will want to talk, but obviously, I will have to try to get through as many people because, like, even the stands that love to reef, there's like crowds of people around them. So the vendors don't have time to go, oh yeah, let me hear about your tank, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Which is what usually people want to do. People go, oh, I bought a coral from you 3 years ago and it's doing really well. So that's the sort of conversation they have. Whereas I don't think I'll have time for that this time. But
we'll have time for a fist bump with everybody. So just
yes, true.
But yeah, so I think I'll be just milling around, I suspect. And there's only so many videos I can make in a day. So, I'll have time to talk.
There's to be fair, quite a lot of people have actually offered to help as well. Reef Dork is going to be out spinning a sign. I've made this joke like 3 times in front of my stand. You see people on the side of the road spinning a sign. But quite a lot of people, even people email me and everything since they saw it and going, I'll help you out, which is actually amazing because I thought about this earlier. Everyone else will be on their own, if you see what I mean. Like not necessarily on their own. No one is helping others people that are emailing them now, going, do you want me to help for free? But they're doing that for me, if you see what I mean. Yeah. So I've replied to everyone who said, just saying, look, thank you for the offer. Like, I'm sure I will need help on the day, but I don't know what I'll need. And if obviously I need anything, I'll let you know. So yeah, which is all I can say. But yeah, there has been an outpouring of help, which is like very genuinely nice.
Very good.
So all I need to give you all interval hours to stand behind the corals, so I can go and do what I want.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll be there. So come and say hello.
Yeah.
And both days as well, Saturday and Sunday, all day, every day.
There you go. Someone just messaged me saying I'll have a word with someone and with Licia. She doesn't know this yet, Licia. And we'll be able to stand and pack corals for you. There you go.
There you go. Cool.
So.
And that concludes the extended member questions. I like that. Yeah. Loads of questions. Love that. Which means is that? Oh no, fish of the week. Prestige Reef fish of the week.
Okay. The fish of the week this week is a fish that most people probably won't have in their tank. Very, very few people do because it obviously eats other fish. But this week I've gone for a Fu Manchu lionfish. Now, when I first was setting up a fish-only tank, this was one of the fish I really, really wanted, just because I think it's got such a unique look to it. And of all the lionfish, this is the one that I like the most. Although I think that they are one of the hardest to get feeding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that they're not that easy to get feeding, but it's those little weird whiskers at the front, which is what makes them appealing to me. But I think I've only ever seen maybe 2 in person. They're not that common.
I thought I've definitely seen them. I thought I'd seen them quite regularly, but maybe not.
Maybe I'm just not looking.
Maybe it's the fuzzy dwarf one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, you see the fuzzy dwarf ones quite often. The yellow fuzzy dwarf one's really nice. I should have done that one actually, because you get 2 different types of fuzzy dwarf, but the yellow ones are really nice. But yeah, that's the fish of the week. I can't tell you a lot, but that's the one I really like. It looks like a bumblebee.
That's quite cool. That looks like a wasp fish, actually.
Yeah.
Dwarf lionfish, yeah. Anyway, I don't like lionfish.
Yeah, but it was... Look, when I come with a fish of the week, I don't pick fish that I like. I pick fish that are weird that people will be like, I haven't seen one of those before.
I know, it's cool, isn't it? But yeah, I'd never have one. Although I kind of like the idea of a fish-only tank. But even then, I don't think I'd have a lionfish in there. And I think I'd get bored of a fish-only tank, even if
the only thing I'd love to have in the coral farm is I'd love to have a frogfish. Now, I can't have a frogfish because a frogfish doesn't belong anywhere near a coral farm. And obviously, I know it'll be fine in the coral, but it'll eat the other smaller fish in there and stuff like that. But I just think it'll be cool to just see this like frogfish walking in between all the SPS corals, and it will just move around all the time, like slowly. But as I said, they're not the ideal fish to keep. Inappropriate Reefer had one, didn't they? Mochi for ages. Was it Mochi he called it? I'm pretty sure it's called Mochi. No, I think the fish was called Mochi.
I see. Right.
Yeah, he had I think that was what it was called. Yeah, he had one for ages, and he used to feed it damselfish. And then there was one damselfish it just would not eat, and it would live with this damselfish. It would eat other damselfish, but it wouldn't eat this one fish. And then they lived in the tank together for ages. And I think in the end, the damselfish outlived the frogfish. So I used to.
And he was sad when the damsel was sad when the frogfish died. I bet.
I used to tune in every week just to see if that fish had been eaten, and it hadn't.
He's a good bloke, Inappropriate Reef, isn't he?
Mochi Telegram says Mochi's in his freezer. Wait a minute.
What?
Is that the fish Mochi, or is that like, because Mochi's like a dessert, isn't it?
Oh, I see. I don't know.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you know Inappropriate Reefer, so it's entirely possible. But why you would request that fish, I don't know.
But there you go. It was okay. Fine. So that's fish of the week. The
fish is in his freezer. Weird.
That's hilarious.
You'll have to tell us why that's there like another time, because I am intrigued.
All right. So that's the Prestige Reef fish of the week. What about the Prestige Reef coral of the week?
Now, I wasn't particularly excited about the fish of the week, but I am genuinely excited about the coral of the week. And although Alex, can we do a poll? Can we do a poll for this? Because Alex does not like this coral. But this is, you know how there was a coral. So every so often I'll get a coral and I absolutely love it so much I won't sell it. It happened with that red lobophilia that was like red and black. And then eventually, after like months and months, even years sometimes, I'll sell it. Well, Friday, I got a new one. I got a blue Catalophilia, or a blue elegance coral. Now, elegance corals are almost always green. I have never seen a blue one before. And then when I saw it, I was like, that is cool. So although Alex thinks it's boring, I absolutely love it.
But this is so I you might win the poll in inverted commas, because I'm not saying that just doesn't do anything to me. What I said earlier was, so if I see a coral, if it's really brightly coloured or if there's something spectacular about it, loads of different colours, that's what I like. You see that sort of stuff all day, every day. Yeah. So what you like is stuff that's weird that you've never seen before, and that's why you like this in particular. Personally, that's all right. It's a nice, it's all right. But I'd rather have a green one with like pink tips.
No, I've got a green one with pink tips. It's like, it just, as I said to Alex earlier, I've probably seen 1,000 green elegance corals. If like the wholesaler or whatever, or it shows everything. I've probably seen like loads of. I've never seen a blue one. This is like you're probably too old for this. This is like the equivalent of finding a shiny Pokemon. So
Pokemon.
Basically, with Pokemon, they had normal colors, and there was like a 1 in 8,000 chance it would be different. And that's what this is. This is like the equivalent of a shiny Pokemon. So I absolutely love it.
That just straight up looks not good as a reefer. We are magpies.
Why?
This does not trigger that instinct. Yeah, Tom's right. No, leave him alone. He's spot on.
Maybe I liked it because let's put it this way. I showed it to one person who likes sort of high-end corals, and he immediately went, I want it. Also, Jamie Craggs, the only person as far as I know who's actually bred in captivity these corals, saw my post on Instagram and decided to say, that's a really nice coral. So I don't care what the poll says.
Yeah, well, the poll is probably 60. So I've said, would you buy the blue elegance coral? 62%.
That doesn't even remotely look bleached.
Blue.
No. Gary said it looks bleached. It's not even remotely bleached.
No, it's 62% are yes, 38% no.
Sorry, what was the poll?
60-40, yes, would buy it. 40
close enough. Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, it's all right. It's different.
Yeah,
is it not for sale?
I don't think I'll sell it at the moment. As I said, it's one of those corals where I'll keep in the tray for ages and ages and ages, and eventually go, oh, okay, I'll sell it.
Terrible colour.
Oh, that hurt.
Jay knows.
Well, okay, tell me one other blue coral. Just one.
Blue tort, Miyagi tort.
No, that's blue and green. That's mostly green.
What's the blue staghorn? Blue staghorn, yeah. Blue digi.
That's
Oh,
more.
there's what's it?
No,
Hoaxamite.
blue is more like grey, and that staghorn's more
That blue
like.
favia you've got.
Yep, that is blue. I will give
There
you
you
that
go.
one. That one is blue.
It is.
Yeah.
There's loads of blue
And there's a
corals.
reason that favia is so popular because it's blue.
Fair enough. I still think it's just not as cool as the green ones. The
I
green
like
ones are nicer.
we've gone back to the good old days where we argue over whether a coral is nice or not.
But this is the whole point is different strokes for different folks, isn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be boring if we all like the same stuff.
True.
Cyphastia as well. Yeah, good point. Blue Symposium. Don't know what that is, but I'll take your word for it. What? So that was this Prestige Reef fishing coral. That's the coral of the week. Someone asked a question earlier that I meant to answer. This one on the Rob. Quick question for Alex. Got about 10 soft and 10 LPS corals in a Red Sea Reef for 250, which probably has 200 litres of water. Probably a little bit more, but yeah. Oh, actually, what do I know? Yeah. Dosing 8 to 10 millilitres of Alpha Reef today. Can I just bin that and switch to 200 millilitre of Calcrusher per day? Thanks. Yes, basically. So I don't know what the equivalent is, but that's probably not a bad place to start. Start slow and build up. So it's better to start at 100 mil per day and then build up to 200 mil over a week or whatever, But yeah, you absolutely can. That's a problem. I wouldn't say don't do that at all. That's fine. Yeah, that's how you switch to Calc. And then make sure you test every day at the same time to make sure that it's not going crazy. But there we go. So that's Fish of the Week and Coral of the Week. And that means that does that mean is it news next? I can't even remember. My list.
Well, you have to play the jingle.
Right, news. First off, Ryan, this was wasn't much on Reef Builders this week, but the one thing that was on there is the Trident NP is now available. And it says you can buy it from saltwateraquarium.com and gives a link to saltwateraquarium.com. So this came out. We talked about this a month or so ago when it came out, but there wasn't really any information on it. And I'm sure I'd seen somewhere that it tested alkalinity as well, which turns out it doesn't do. But so now there's a bit more information on it. I've seen a couple of videos. I know more about it. It's basically an automatic tester for nitrate and phosphate, a fancy Hannah checker. I think it's about $700. It's not currently available in the UK. Although we just have had the Neptune DOS, the Quiet Drive DOS, that's arrived in the UK. So maybe this won't be too far behind. I don't know. But it's an auto tester for nitrate and phosphate. Again, it's Apex, so Neptune. So I don't have any Neptune stuff, never have. So I don't get that excited because you can't just buy this on its own. You have to buy the Apex as well. So I wouldn't buy that because you'd have to buy both. But that's really good because if you've got a Trident already, you can buy this, and then you will have automatic testing for calcium, alkalinity, magnesium, nitrate, and phosphate. Apart from salinity, what else do you want to test?
True.
And you can have a salinity probe, although I wouldn't rely on any salinity probe for testing. But that is potentially wicked, and it's not that expensive. I don't think. I think £700, $700, and that's that. So the Reef Factory Smart Tester is let me find out how much it is, because in the UK it's £600, and it will only test one parameter. It's really good. I've still got mine running. It's great. Smart Tester, but for £600 to only test one parameter. Yeah, same in the US. It's $612, and it only tests one parameter at a time. Whereas for $700, you can get one that does nitrate and phosphate. And I think that the Reef Factory Smart Tester needed to be able to test two things for that price. And if it did, fantastic, sign me up.
Yeah.
But because it doesn't, it's like, okay, still good, but I don't want to spend $600 on one parameter. But anyway, nitrate and phosphate, you can now test automatically with the Neptune Trident, and it is available in shops. I was looking at the what's it called? Kamoa Reef Master.
Yeah.
So that is soon to be, that tests everything basically: nitrate, phosphate, alkalinity, calcium, and magnesium. That looks quite interesting because it's still big, but it's not too big. Because the problem with these devices is that they tend to be quite big. Yeah. And actually, if you have both of these Tridents, they'll take up a lot of space. The Maven looks pretty good. Not in the UK. no sign of it coming to the UK, which is a real shame. But that doesn't look too big. But the Komoa Reef Master, don't know when that's coming out, but it should be soon. That doesn't look too big either. It's still pretty big, but I want something that tests everything for me, and I want it to be small. So, company, make that, and then you make me happy.
And accurate, very accurate. That's the most important thing.
And accurate. 100%.
And no maintenance. Look, if we're just dreaming stuff up that's impossible at the moment, let's no maintenance.
No maintenance, yeah. Why not?
Also free.
And free, yeah. Well, it would be free for me anyway. So,
Red Sea don't make it, so.
No, I can't say. The maintenance, I can deal with the maintenance. To be fair, I don't mind maintenance, but low maintenance, obviously. Next piece of news is it's funny. I've just realised I took a screenshot of this, but it was whilst I was watching a video on YouTube, and you can see the video I was watching on YouTube. So it was.
You did that earlier when you sent me something earlier.
Did
you
I?
sent me a screenshot of something. I could see you watching a live stream on YouTube.
There you go. Well, anyway, so it's a Suzuki V-Strom 800, if you were wondering. And it was on Revzilla. Wicked. That channel is so awesome for Daily Rider. Anyway, so this is the new product. It's a GHL Auto Fish Feeder. I think that looks quite sexy, is the first thing to say. And it is, shipment starts 24th of June, 2024. And so it's auto dispensing fish feeding thing, like the Reef Factory one, which I have here.
I thought you had one there.
No. I don't have GHL stuff, but so it's a new GHL fish feeder. But the one thing that I noticed that people were saying in the chat in the comment section, I think that looks really nice, and it will attach to your GHL system, which is really handy because it will all be on the same app or whatever. Yeah. But a couple of people said in the comments, oh, by the way, that's the same as the one you can get on Amazon, and there's one called the Waytoll, Weytoll, auto fish feeder for 30 quid. It's the same thing, isn't it? So it is the same thing. So I'm sure GHL have made changes, but it's the same thing. And actually, so Reef Factory sent me this is missing the food basket. So but Reef Factory sent me the smart feeder, and I uploaded the video and said, yeah, it's all right, it's pretty good, does the job well. And a couple of people straight away said, did you know that's a rip off of another one that you can get for half the price or a fraction of the price? I was like, interesting. And they've done the same, which I think companies are bound to do, because if they create it from the ground up, it's going to be more expensive.
Yeah.
Whereas if they can find one that's already working elsewhere and rebadge it and then incorporate their app. So the Reef Factory thing, you would still be, if you've got all the Reef Factory ecosystem, you're still better off buying that than the cheapo one, because you can use it through the Reef Factory app.
True. It's not like the HANA tester where you get what was it, the support.
Yeah, exactly. That's it, for 600 quid. Yeah. But it's a hell of a premium for that privilege.
Yeah.
But if you've got a GHL ecosystem, you probably won't mind spending the extra 50 quid or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, a new auto feeder has been released. Scant details. The details it does say automatic and manual feeding. So presumably there's a button like on the eHeim that it will dispense one off. Food level monitoring. So I think it's got scales in it, which is cool. Keeps food dry. All right. App control, large capacity, silent and reliable, seamless integration with the Proflux. So actually nothing majorly revolutionary there, but it's a GHL auto feeder. So if you've got GHL, you can now connect that to your system. And the next piece of news, Ryan, is Aqua. There's lots of news on this.
Yes.
Firstly, there's an extraordinarily handsome man attending as a special guest.
Where is he?
Hey. And there was one for you there as well, right?
My one's not been released yet.
Interesting.
Oh, you about to get I like how
prioritize me.
Yes, yeah, true. No, well, they
obviously. How does that make you feel?
Indifferent.
Second best.
Yeah. I'm not that fragile. So, what would you like to say? Firstly.
So there's a few things with Aqua. So first off, actually, the first thing I'm going to say, because I am now a special guest, I don't really know what that means, to be honest. I don't think it actually changed anything. But basically, I'm there and I'll be there, and you can come and talk to me. But what that does mean is the 2 tickets I bought, I no longer have a use for, because I'm going to have a press pass.
True.
So I'm going to give 2 tickets away tonight. So if you are if you're a member of the Reef Dork channel, and please don't sign up to do this. This is for existing members. If you're a member, in about 10 minutes time, I'll tell you what word to post in the chat, and the first person to post that word will get the two tickets. You have to live in the UK, but you get 2 free tickets to Aqua. So that's the first thing, is that they've got a very special guest. Very, very special guest. And I'm not being paid, by the way, I should say.
It isn't. It's not just you, to be fair. So, like, Jay's Real Reef has just posted in the chat that he says he's excited to be going. I will be attending. The Yorkshire Reefer will be attending. Mm-hmm. I spoke to Moggsy's. What's Moggsy's channel? No, is it Moggsy's
Aquarium?
Yeah. I spoke to Moggsy the other day. He said that I believe he's attending one of the days. Colette also said that she wants to attend. So it's like, there are going to be lots of social media people. Jamie's Reef, he's going, he was in one of my videos, so he's basically famous now. But yeah, so obviously I have a stand there now, and I have access to their marketing team, and I told them what was important about these shows, and the things that they will know this already, but the things that I try to emphasize were people need to see livestock and coral that they haven't seen before. Whether it's, you won't be able to buy fish, it's against the law, you can't buy fish from a place that's not a fish shop, but you can obviously buy corals and inverts and everything. So that was one thing. Another thing is that about just being all together as like fish weirdos in the same place, because the person next to you likes the same thing that you like. So that's amazing. And the ability to see the people you follow on social media as well. Like, I remember I was so excited when I met the Inappropriate Reefer, which was funny because he was so excited to meet me. I think, why would you be excited to meet me? Someone came over to me and went, Inappropriate Reefer is looking for you everywhere. And I'm like, I've been looking for him. So it really is like exciting that to do that. Now, what I wanted to say is, like, we need to get behind this as a community, seriously, because this is happening in September, and the more people that are signed up, the more, like, vendors are still signing up like on a regular basis. I think I don't know if you're going to. You took a list of the vendors earlier, didn't you? Or
I've got that. Yeah, I've got a list to tell you about in a second.
Yeah. So, like, I've asked the marketing team to create something saying I've got my tickets for Aqua. Have you? And I'm going to be posting that on my Instagram, probably either tomorrow or later tonight. And I want you to share it as well, because the more people see it, the more people want to go, and the more people there, the better it will be. And I know that they're pushing really hard to get more and more livestock vendors, and there's definitely more than there were 2 weeks ago. Let's put it that way. So it's moving in the right direction, and I'm genuinely really excited now.
Yeah.
So
on the point of coral vendors, for a time there was just a couple. There's now, I think there's 5. Yeah. There's Prestige Reef, Tees Reef, Future Frags, Totally Sustainable Corals, and VMW Corals. So 5 coral vendors. That's a lot. I don't think there's. I'm trying to think. The first Coral Freaks, they had AAC, Reef Dreams, Eco Marines. I can't remember what it's called. I think it was just 3. I don't know how many they had at Love to Reef, but this is all 3. There you go. This is already the biggest coral selling expo in the UK, and there'll be more.
And I don't know about the other people's tanks. The tank that I am having is a meter by 80 centimeters. And I thought to myself, that doesn't sound too big until I measured it. You can fit a lot of coral in that. And on top of that, I also, the stand next to mine, which is Polyp Pros, they are having their own tanks, and they want their tanks to be filled with corals. So I'm also filling their tanks with corals. So I'm going to have a ton of corals there. So I promise you, I will not let you down with regards to what I bring. I guarantee you will see things that you won't have seen before. Because unless you've been to the coral farm, and even then, I'm going to try and have some like sneaky bits. But yeah, it's the last time there was a show of this size, I think, was like 14 years ago, and it was never done again. And I just think I don't want to wait another 14 years. So I've spoken to a few people. Some people are waiting to see like how it's progressing or whatever. now is the time to book your tickets. Firstly, for two reasons: firstly, show your support, and secondly, the hotels are getting booked up, so you can no longer book a hotel at the venue. I wanted to stay at the venue, so it was easy for me, and it's fully booked. So it says on the website, it says they've sold 1,300 tickets. So
1,325 tickets.
yeah. So, and also, yes, the other thing I spoke to the marketing team about was that I want them to have a frag swap, and then they spoke to Shamila, who organised the frag swap at Love to Reef, and that has now been, I believe, it's definitely being organised. I know for a fact it's being organised.
Well done, Shamila.
That was amazing at Love to Reef. Shamila did an excellent job. That was one of the things that was so good about it. So,
what's the capacity for that place? I don't think there's a limit on the number of tickets they can sell. Basically,
when I spoke to them, they said they're planning to sell between, I think, 2,000 and 3,000 tickets is what they want.
Yeah, okay.
So
that's a lot of fish people.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, and as I said, I've been to these shows all over America, and they were great. But we'd never had them here. We've always wanted them here. We've always moaned about not having them here, and now there's one here. It's like, everyone get involved. I don't care if you haven't got your tickets. If you see my post saying I've got my ticket, share it anyway.
12 quid.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that, can you?
Or free if they win your tickets.
Well, exactly. Oh, hang on a second. I paid 38 quid for my 2 tickets. I've just seen. Yeah. A weekend pass. Maybe it was 2 weekend passes. Anyway, I think it's 12 quid for one day. Whatever. Anyway. Yeah, so let's do the giveaway now. So if you are a Reef Dork member and you live in the UK, the word that you need to put in the chat to win the tickets, and it's the first person to do it, is the word. Are you ready?
What's the
ticket? Word? Ticket. Go. So the first Reef Dork member to put the word ticket in there wins the 2 tickets.
If you've already got tickets, it's probably best you don't type it in.
Yeah. But there we go.
There you go.
Base Mum. No, you're not a member.
Not a member.
I don't think. Brian, you are though. Brian Rother.
No, James.
Tom, you missed out. Hang on a second. Ticket. Yeah. Oh no. Actually, hang on. Oh look, there's
Gary.
There's Jay's.
Yeah, there's loads.
Jay's Real Reef. The first is Jay's Real Reef. I think that's the first one. Yeah, Jay's Real Reef. Congratulations, Jay. You've won yourself 2 tickets. I'll ping you a message on Instagram, and I'll send you the details. Actually, send me your email address on Instagram, and I'll send them over to you.
Well and when I sneak you in, Jay, you can then give those tickets away again.
Yeah, yeah, okay. And Les has just bought his as well. Sorry for everybody who missed out. Yeah, but there we go. So lots more people going, and yeah, it's getting exciting.
Gary's saying it's showing him. Gary, I don't know why. I can assure you, it comes up on mine as Jay being first as well.
Let me just. It
was a bit weird where there was like a delay, wasn't there?
Jay's Real Reef is the first one on YouTube. Yeah, Gary's second. Oh, yeah. You missed out. But there we go. Yeah, very close. And nothing for coming second. No, because this isn't like a proper giveaway. This is just something I have that I'm giving away. So yeah, it's not a proper giveaway as such. But there we go.
Yeah.
So
I've also told them that there should be a raffle. I don't know if that's happening, but I've told them that's what I want. Yeah.
Definitely.
And what? Oh, so I don't know. I'm going to be doing a few things on my stand, I think. Okay. And I'm not going to tell you what they are because I don't want other people copying them. But as I said, I have been to other shows, and there's certain things that certain stands did that I'm going to be doing because, yeah.
You've been to some big shows as well, so yeah, I'm expecting big things from this, Ryan.
Yeah, like Jay just said, Gary can have it. Ryan can get me in. Don't you worry, Jay. I'll sort you out.
Gary, you're sorted. Gary, do me a favour. Let me just work out what my email address is. I think it's thereefdork@hotmail.com. I've actually got to check because I can never remember. Yeah, thereefdork@hotmail.com. Gary, send me an email and I will hook you up.
Lizzie has just said Lizzie said to bring my mugs. I am actually thinking about bringing the mugs.
Are you really?
I thought about bringing 50 of them, 10 of each color. Just because people do like them. The biggest problem was they were too expensive, but I've found a way to get them cheaper and also shipping them. But I just think it'd be a nice thing to have there. And Jamie's Reef wants me to have a hoodies design or something like that, which I probably won't be doing. But we'll see.
Luke says, how do you become a member? If you turn your phone from that way to that way, portrait, and there's a join button. You press join, and then you get to ask questions on here, and you get to see the videos early on my Friday videos a bit early. Ryan,
anyway,
anything else you want to talk about on Aqua?
Oh, basically, no ifs, buts, or maybes. Yeah, if you're even considering it, go and sort it today. Go and sort it today, because I really, really want this to work. It's funny because about a month ago, I was sort of indifferent. I was going to go, but now I'm going to have a stand there. It's like it's become personal to me, if you see what I mean. And I'm doing everything. It's great because even you're part of it as well. We like they listen. I believe the marketing people there are listening to us. I've spoken to them about a few things, and obviously you came on slightly later, but like it's good that they're listening and not just going, no, this is how it is, because I believe we do have valuable input to make it
completely
better.
100%. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So,
and I've just posted the website. It's aquah.co.uk where you can buy your tickets. And that concludes the news. Which brings us on to the headline topic. An hour and 40 minutes in. There's people who clicked on this and they were like, oh God, when are we going to talk about the Zoas, please? And they've had to sit through an hour and 40 of nonsense.
Yeah.
Well, this is for you. So I posted on the this was, who was it? It was Lolly West. Thank you for the suggestion. It wasn't a suggestion for a topic for the live stream, but she posted ridiculous names for Zoas on the Prestige Reef Dork Show Facebook group. And I was like, that's a brilliant idea for a live stream. And as it turns out, we've not talked about it extensively, but because there are some stupid names, but there are now, and it says the title says top 10, but there's a couple more. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. At least one of these is made up. The one that I think might be made up, Ryan's biceps.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's made up.
Added by Les Fuller. Interesting.
Oh yes.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go in reverse order of. It's a little bit difficult to figure these out, but reverse order of some of the most ridiculous names. So these are probably the top 11 most ridiculous names that people thought for Zoas. And in fact, there's one of them. One of them is Tinkerbell's Foo-Foo. I think that's made up. I know they're all made up, but I think that's made up. But anyway, right. So they are Wango Tango. That is. I'm
just googling Tinkerbell's Foo-Foo Zoa.
I found it as one place. There's a place called Coral Barn in the UK. That's it. That's why I say it's made up, because there's only one place that has it.
Okay, yeah.
And there's a website called zoalibrary.com where you can go on, and they've got millions of Zoas on there. And I checked most of these. That wasn't on there. But anyway, so the ones that are there are Wango Tango.
Wango Tango. Let's have a look. I'm just. You can go through them. I'm just. I'm shopping for Zoas basically. Nah, not really interested in those.
Hawaiian People Eaters, which is a good name.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Oh, I don't like this one. Blue-eyed blonde bitch. Why can't I just be blue-eyed blonde? You know?
Yeah, true.
Don't be so nasty. But they're really nice Zoas, to be fair. Ass cracks.
Okay, yeah.
Which is good. Gorilla nipples.
Yeah, I know those.
My personal favourite, Chong Bong.
I've never heard of those ones.
Nor have I, but they're on zoalibrary.com. Victoria's Secret. And now we are into the top 3. And actually, these aren't the top 3. I'll do the top 2. Butt Kisser was one of them.
That was what I was thinking would be top, like one of the top ones.
So the top 2, and these were the top 2 by a mile.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do a poll, actually. Start poll. Which name is more?
Is one Butt Muncher as well?
Reinsch is more ridiculous.
Well, I don't know. I'm just guessing as much as everyone else.
Right. So this is a poll. The 2 most common, the most ridiculous ones as voted for by people on the Prestige Reef Dork Show Facebook page were Butt Muncher.
Yeah.
And Fairy Fart.
I don't know what that one is.
So I have started the poll, and you guys can decide which of those is the most ridiculous name, and we will crown that the most ridiculous name Zoa in the world.
Actually, Fairy Fart's quite nice. Although I wonder if they look like that like they look nice when you're in a zoomed in picture, but they look like they could just look brown from a distance.
Right. Well, that's all Zoas, isn't it? Basically. Okay, so this is under quite white light, which is a bit unusual for a Zoa, but that is cool. Is that the one picture you were looking at?
Yeah, there's a couple of different pictures.
They're quite nice. 110 quid. That's quite expensive.
A lot of money for a brown Zoa.
Oh, there we go. That's more like it. 120 bucks. And I mean, that's possibly a little oversaturated, the photo, but they look nice.
Yeah.
Zoanthage.com.
Yeah.
So that's them. And then what was the other one? Butt Muncher. I think Butt Muncher was one of the ones on the title. Butt Muncher Zoas. Yeah.
They're yellow. I've got those.
Prestige Reef. You've got them?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they are nice.
Interesting.
They're a new addition. I think I added them last week. I've just remembered. I put like 30 corals back in stock literally just before the live stream. Like I completely didn't realize they were out of stock.
Oh, whoops.
And I was sitting in a chair outside. And I was like, I'll just go through the out of stock section. I was like, oh look. So yes, I like those. They're actually really they're sort of that color yellow as well. So my picture's not very good at them, but they are genuinely that color yellow. They're really bright.
If I was voting on which one I like the most, Fairy Fart is nicer, but Butt Muncher is the more ridiculous name.
I prefer that one. Like if from a distance, they have that sort of like metallic fluorescent color, like jack-o'-lanterns.
Okay.
They're like that. So yeah, I highly recommend those.
You can't, scrambled eggs. You can't beat scrambled eggs, those.
Oh, these are brighter than scrambled eggs, I can assure you.
But yeah, so the poll is fairly conclusive, so I'm going to end it now. Butt Muncher wins 71% of the vote. 29% of the vote goes to Fairy Farts. So congratulations, Butt Muncher. You are the most ridiculous Zoa name.
My fiance is just looking at me wondering what the hell I'm listening to.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. There we go.
That just to clarify, that's not my fiance. That's Tom in the chat's fiance.
Yeah. Ass Monkeys.
Quickly.
Ass Monkeys is a pretty ridiculous name. Let's see if there's anyone else. Alien anti-venoms. Do aliens even have venom? Good question. Okay. What other? Anyone else suggested anything? I don't think so.
OG Nightmares are really nice. They're a new one I got. I really like them. They're like red.
OG Nightmares. Valentine's Day Massacre are red ones that I've had before.
I've had a few people come to the farm recently and they've tried to buy them. I'm like, nope, they're mine. I'm growing them out.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, they are genuinely like really brightly coloured.
They look a bit like they look a lot like Utter Chaos, but like a redder version of Utter Chaos.
Yeah, that is what they're like.
OG Night, that's a good photo actually. Well, actually, that's an orange one, but still, yeah, cool. Eye of Sauron. That looks like there's a Zoa called an Eye of Sauron. I think actually. The only thing I don't like about Zoa is when they're like this is they're sold in single polyps.
I never sell those in single polyps.
Give me 10 polyps. Or 5.
Fine. It's £500.
No, I know.
But yeah, there is a one polyp option, but it would be on the website. But it is incredibly rare for either someone to buy it or because it's a terrible idea getting one polyps.
Well, yeah, exactly. But we all know that there's a cheat code with Prestige Reef because you just buy the one with the fewest heads, and the chances are you'll get more.
Well, that doesn't always work, but it does sometimes work. And do you know what's funny? After that, I had a load of people buying Zoas.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Yeah. I
wonder. I'd like to know from them if they got more than they were expecting.
They did.
Oh,
basically everyone does. Like not like within reason. It's If I frag, so how it works, if I frag Zoa recently, then obviously I'll have lots of smaller polyp ones, but then they've grown out over a period of time. Because your fish are in there, and I won't frag the Zoas while your fish are in there. I know it's ridiculous. They've come this far. I don't want anything to like kill them. Then people are getting more Zoas than they expected. Just
a quick shout out CJ, because CJ's a good dude. Had a chat with him this week. Cheers, mate. He says, anyone else cooking Zoas under 600 par? My experiment worked. So not 600, but I've had Zoas under like 400. I think Zoas don't mind strong light. I think they do well in SPS tanks, actually. I think they...
600 par is a lot of par.
I would guess that was brought up slowly over time, maybe, but maybe not. But yeah, Zoas, I find, don't mind strong par.
Yeah,
which is unusual for. Is it right that they're not a coral? I was going to say soft coral. They're not actually a coral. Is that right? I think there's something else. I don't know, but whatever.
There's no facts here.
There are no facts on this show, but yeah. I don't think that doesn't surprise me, because zoas don't mind. They can tolerate stronger light, and I find they look better under too much light than too little.
Yeah.
They're an urchin. They're not an urchin.
They're not an urchin.
Shut up. No, you winding me up, or are you being serious?
I have a question for you. I don't know if you will know this, and I'm assuming we're going to wrap it up very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You know how when you like a fish needs oxygen in a bag to survive, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a coral doesn't need oxygen in a bag to survive. You can have the bag filled entirely with water, and it's fine. Mm-hmm. Urchins, however, do they need oxygen or do they not need oxygen? Because I don't know.
There's oxygen in the water, of course.
I know, but what I'm saying is, like,
air in the bag.
Yeah. Well, do I have to, like? Obviously, I'm
gap.
shipping them now, and I'm like, am I doing this right or not?
Post me one, and I'll find out. Yes,
well, I could do that. Just because I've got an import for inverts coming next week. My first invert import.
Ooh,
I spoke to the wholesaler, and I went, I want a whole box of inverts. They went, why? No one buys a whole box of inverts. That's literally what they said to me. Okay. People usually buy fish and then like 5 or 10% inverts. I'm like, nope, I want the entire box. Okay. So I've got like 40 urchins coming, so I better learn how to ship them pretty quickly.
I would guess that they don't need an air gap.
I think they might.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Well,
buy some
we'll soon find out.
Buy one online from somewhere and see what happens when it arrives.
Yeah, true.
There'll be someone will be able to help you.
So, Lizzie said, I can imagine mushing a tuxedo urchin into the frag pots. Urchins need to breathe. There you go. Maybe that is what it is.
Well, they do need to breathe, yeah. But anyway, fine. 110% facts here. Yeah,
true.
I'm skeptical.
Corals don't need oxygen when shipping. Just to clarify. So, because I'm assuming because they're in the box pots for so little. But let's say I never ship my corals with oxygen, and I've sent 3,000 orders now.
3,000 orders.
I hit it the other day. I was shocked. I think I'm on like 3,023 or something.
Very good.
So that's a lot of orders.
There's a lot of orders. How long have you been going for? 4 or 5 years?
No, I think 3 years. I think 3 years. Maybe 3.5 years. It was during
3 orders a day.
Is that what it?
Over 3 years.
Is it? Oh yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Roughly that, yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was wrong maths.
Yeah.
There you go.
Think about how many frags that is.
It's a lot of coral.
That is a lot. Like the mystery boxes alone are 6 frags at a time. That is a huge amount of coral. So, but anyway.
You must have sold over 10,000 corals then.
Don't know. Just
hard to say. Okay.
I'm like an Amazon shipper for corals. I just get the coral, put it in the pot, take it to the post office.
Happy days. Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to brag about?
No, I'm not special like you. I realized it. I think about 2 weeks ago, I noticed it, and I thought I must tell you, and I keep forgetting. But so I just told you now.
Oh right, the 3,000 thing. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Happy days. Well, thank you for joining everybody as always, and we'll be back next week with more fishy nonsense.
Great. Right.
Buy your tickets for Aqua Age.
Yeah, someone did. Tom just bought his ticket.
Good lad.
Right. See you later.
See you guys. Bye.